Oh, we are now. Now we're recording. Okay, so I want to start with our a meditation, you guys. I think it's appropriate with the exception of Rasha. Rasha, are you driving or are you riding?
I'm writing. I asked Ed to drive.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah. Well, I was going to drive, but I'll shut off my car.
Okay. Please close your eyes and relax. And just notice, I just noticed for myself that I'm holding on to. So let go and just notice that you're already breathing in this moment. And just be conscious of the breath. And now bring your attention to the physical sensations of breathing.
Try to park from the middle.
Notice how the air feels as it comes through your nostrils. Notice how it feels as you breathe out. See if you can fine-tune your attention to how the air feels in your lungs. Is the breath coming more into the upper part of your body? Or is it reaching the diaphragm? Just watch the way you're breathing. Upper body, diaphragm. Are you getting way down into the lower belly? Now begin to bring some intention to the breath. With the in-breath, let the lower belly soften and expand with the intake of air. And now again on the next in-breath, let the lower belly soften and expand with the breath. And when that lower belly feels full, fill then the diaphragm and let it expand. And finally, let the chest and lungs go completely. And hold it just for a few seconds. And then let the air be expelled fully from the lungs and push it out. A little extra push. And then breathe back in. All the way in Hold it. Just a few seconds and then all the way out and push a little more out. To be mindful is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. The next level of mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware that I am all of it, and all of it is me. Continue to breathe. The next level of mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present and aware that you are literally in and part of an ocean of energy. See if you can feel yourself in this ocean of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another. Let go of everything. Let go of anything you're holding on to. Transform the energy that's there into emotion. Energy and motion. Who you are is love, life energy, and aliveness. With that being present, allow that knowing, that love, that aliveness, that energy to evoke emotions where you are. Feel the emotion of joy. Feel the emotion of peacefulness. Feel the emotion of happiness. And then let go. And just be. Who or what is that being? as this quantum self rests in I am forgiven. I am forgiven. And in this moment, I give up the desire to punish myself. I am free. Okay. No sleeping allowed. My phone keeps dinging, so let me just see if there's anything here I got to deal with. Oh.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay, Charlie. So welcome to the call, everybody. Thank you for going through the meditation. Was that supportive?
That was great.
Yeah. I mean, we really, it occurred to me, and I wanted to acknowledge, each person who's on this call. So first of all, there's not a single one of us who doesn't have a full and busy schedule, full and busy life. And I want you to know that I know that, and I don't take it lightly that you're here and doing this work. And with that being said, I want, last week, Joanne, we created that this is a championship game, and we're not dealing with it like a championship game. So it really occurred to me that these are things that needed to be said so you get that I know who you are, and that whatever it is that you intend out of this experience, I want for you. And the biggest part of that is the contribution we get to make to people who are on this particular wave with us. And, there's just nothing more fun than that. So I hope that you are acknowledged and appreciated, and that you really get that I know who you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. So the practice we took on last week was to not be the expression of our true essence. That is, to not express our three unique qualities and characteristics. And I'm very curious to hear how that practice went for you. Anybody who wants to go, please.
It was interesting because for me, I got a lot of pushback. And I got it in a weird way. I got it in like a resigned, but almost like a passive aggressiveness that I was noticing people. It's like, wow.
Somebody else? What did you notice in taking on the practice?
I noticed that rarely did I feel like I was exhibiting my three qualities.
Oh, very good. Got it.
Yeah, so it kind of shined a light on oh, I'm not being that.
Yeah. Very great. That's very great. How about you, Charlie?
A lot of resistance this week, but I did have an experience where I felt like I had a huge breakthrough, and how it occurred to me was, we talked earlier, you talked about guilt and shame and how that's the foundation of fear, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And I actually had the experience of what I have guilt and shame over.
Oh.
And but I also took on the practice of self-forgiveness.
So would you be willing to take on the practice of quantum forgiveness.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I have the words right, but
That's okay. Do you mind if I just put it in?
no.
I know that you are pointing to the work that we're doing. I know that you are.
Yeah.
And I want to give you the language for it because we are the ones who will be talking to people.
Sure,
That's
I
all.
get it. Yeah.
And I don't want people walking away. See, because the very thing that we distinguish in the heart shift is that the small self will not allow you to forgive yourself. There is no self-forgiveness. That is a perpetuation of guilt and shame. When people say, oh, you got to forgive yourself. Well, good luck.
Right.
So, and I know you know that, by the way. I just want to put it in that we're responsible for that getting across.
Okay.
Please, go ahead, Charlie. I hope I
But
didn't diminish.
I had the experience of what I was holding myself accountable for in terms of like guilt and shame, and it's all the stuff I didn't do right and I was making myself wrong for.
Yes. Yes.
And when I look at it, it's huge.
Wow. So would that be your feeling habit? I feel like I just can't do anything right.
Oh, could be.
Well, we better put that in existence, my friend.
But I had a huge release around it, and I think, and what occurred to me is like being my natural self,
Yes.
or
Good for
my
you.
natural essence.
Good for you.
And that was really fresh for me, like about 4 or 5 days ago, and it's kind of starting to dissipate.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still,
You know, what it is that we create a new future to live into, and then the future gets exhausted, and we haven't yet created anything new to replace it. So as creative beings, our purpose is to experience life. Experience is to feel. To feel, we must create, because creation is our function. So we're constantly creating a new future to live into. But we're not responsible for that. We're constantly creating a new future to live into. You follow?
sure.
We create a new future. We expect this one should fucking stick. But it's just not the case. So our doing the meditation together, you may have noticed, and you may not have, I don't know. I'll tell you how it was for me. How about that? It gave me a new future to live into right this moment.
Mm,
That's exactly what it did for me.
mm.
And I thought, we got to do this on the call because we need to be living inside of a new future. How about you, Russia?
So,
Go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
one thing, so I came up with a new declaration.
Yes.
Blessings
Mm-hmm.
of empowering feelings.
I like it. I like it. Put it in existence. We'll probably steal it and use it somewhere.
Okay.
That's good. How about you, Russia? Assuming you could hear us. Shake your head or something.
I don't even see her.
I see her, but she's not in the conversation, I don't think.
I think she changed her connection.
Oh, she changed connection from outside to inside, so she doesn't know we're talking about her. Everybody look at her.
She's in the house.
There she is. She just put in her earpiece. There she goes. Gosh.
We've been talking to you for the
Sorry,
last 3
I
minutes.
got on my laptop. That way I can see everybody.
So, anything open up for you out of doing the practice this past week?
Yes, and I want to thank Larry,
Yeah.
and I wish I had your cell phone number because I would have been blowing up your phone and texting you. But so here's the thing that I noticed. So I wake up, and I get on the elevator to get into work, and I turn to this woman, and she's all kind of, and I said, good morning. And I realized in that moment, it is more challenging to withhold, to not be those things for me than it is to be. So if, for me, caring, generous, and loyal, it was harder to not be that
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, very good.
And it was interesting. I got, and Thomas will get this just because he's been living a little bit of this with me. I got a job offer for a promotion, Thomas, to groom me to be like an executive over a division. And I'm just like, so, but my loyalty, right? Like, I'm like, no. I mean, I didn't even think. I'm like, no, I can't do that. And Ed's like, wait, don't answer them right now.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I found it was a very good exercise. And then what I saw for what gets in the way for me is when I drop my practice. So when I drop my meditation practice, my daily meditation practice,
Yeah. Me too.
I can disconnect quicker. And for me, it's kind of like it's a self-preservation.
Yeah.
It's a small self-preservation. I go to, then my feeling habit muscle is way quicker.
Yes.
Anyway, great exercise.
Yeah, very
Awesome.
good. Well,
Thanks, Larry.
So for me, the experience was more like Larry in that I had an internal war with myself. It was like I could not allow myself not to at least attempt to be who I really am, even if I had to fake it. I mean, it just seemed like it was automatic for me because there was a war inside of me like, no, I don't know, I'm putting words to it. There was no real words. It's like, no, it might stick, I don't want it to stick like that. But what I liked about it, Larry, and what I think made it so useful is that it, in a playful way, kept our eye on the ball. And I would say we were all more conscious this week of what we're up to than we might have been the week before. And if that's the case, then I would say that the practice was effective. Okay, so now here's how tonight's call is going to go, everybody. I have a number of distinctions that I've written out. Some I've fleshed out and they're clean. Some have not been fleshed out. The intention is that you catch it, see what it brings up for you, generate some conversation so that we get a little bit of a flow of energy here and we'll be able to spit out some things. I want to acknowledge I made a promise that I would have the timeline built for the first quarter of the day, and I did do that. So it's done. I had originally thought I was going to go through that with you, and then I realized that's a waste of your time. We'll go through that later. What we need now are good, powerful distinctions that land and that impact us at the level that we're dealing with. My job is to organize it in some fashion so that it makes a difference. Then I'll deliver it to you so that you can, make your determinations. Joanne, anything you want to share though? Sorry, honey.
Yes.
Before we move on, I mean, because you had last week also. Just because you weren't on the call doesn't mean that you weren't somehow involved in the work.
It's interesting. So, did last week's call get recorded?
It did, and it's posted, and I sent you an email with the link.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I'll look at that.
Joanne, I did it today. I saw your email, and I said to myself, I thought I put that up. So I came back in I was out in the car getting ready to leave when I saw your email. I turned off the car, came back in, and I did it before I left.
Thank you for doing that. I will listen to it.
Yeah, of course.
But I actually had a daughter that was here for 4 days. She was on a mission. So I took on not being myself and letting her just be the whole time. So I actually did the homework without being on the call, right?
Okay.
Because I let her drive the whole 4 days. I found it exhausting and teary-eyed, you could tell. And dogs barking at me. God bless you, Cookie, your timing. But I also went through and did that assignment of people's opinion of me, and I am pissed off at every one of them.
Yeah. Interesting too, honey. Interesting that your relationship to it is people's opinion of you versus a collection of your characteristics and qualities.
Yes. I'm not buying into it. I'm resisting it.
Okay. So people have bad things to say. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about you.
It's not that they had bad things to say about me, Thomas.
Yeah.
It's just not things that impress me. And I'm not interested in not being impressive in my way. Like, I'm not out to be a showboat. That's never been my style. But what people commented about, I'm not interested in either. And it's still painful.
Okay, honey, I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm thinking that it's something more humorous than it is, and I realize that it's very sensitive for you.
Well, I may get to the other side because I've committed to that, but I'm also committing to not stepping over this.
Yeah.
And that's difficult because I did not want to share this on the call with any. Yeah. But I can't hold it in right now. And
well, I would imagine, Joanne, that somebody who shows up in our space may have a similar experience. And it would be valuable for each and every one of us to really get that world. Because if you are me and I am you, and I resist getting that world, which, you know, that's how I am. I mean, I resist some of the sensitive things, and I'm not saying that's good. I just noticed that about myself. And I want you to know that I'm opening myself up and opening my heart and to be like I want to get this world that you're in.
Is it, does it live in the world of feeling habits?
So my tendency is to want to flip you off, Larry, for that comment. I'm just
so she feels, I think that Joanne feels judged and unappreciated.
Unappreciated is definitely what came up for me.
I think that's her feeling habit. I'm not saying that you're not unappreciated. You may or may not be. But I do know that Larry was being a contribution. I mean, but clearly, not like you have to read between the lines. So clearly being a contribution, but your experience was he was one of them.
My experience was making light of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And it's and Larry, I know that you're not that way. I know that you are a very giving soul.
We don't even need to go down that tunnel, either one of you. You don't even need to apologize or anything. I'm just saying that is her feeling habit. And you can't, listen, it wouldn't have mattered. If you had to carve it out perfectly, that probably would have flown. But for now, she is in the world of being not appreciated.
Yeah, some of my question is actually because I am kind of new with feeling habits, so it's I guess I'm asking the question.
Sure, I know that.
Clarification as well, and I was trying to contribute something that I thought might be helpful.
Right, got that. Okay, so go ahead, Joanne.
I think that's all I have to share in the moment.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, thank you, and I'm glad you're here. And I am committed that this time together be the just what you need to get to the other side. That's I'm committed to that. And then it'll be whatever it is, right?
At some point offline, I'd like to share with you the list.
Yeah, we'll do that. Of course we'll do that. Okay, ready? So I'm going to create some distinction, some conversation. I'm going to ask you just to let it land on you. And every now and then I'll stop so we can massage a thing or two. Okay? It's going to be fun. I promise.
I
So
could use that one.
So consider a time, everybody. Consider a time when you were forgiven. Somebody forgave you at the most intense level. How did that feel? But what if I told you that even though someone offered you that amazing forgiveness, and it is an amazing thing, and it is very generous, that in and of itself is ordinary forgiveness. Quantum forgiveness is our world. The 6 people on this call, quantum forgiveness is our world, and it's distinct from ordinary forgiveness, which is important by all means, ordinary forgiveness. But what I'm after for us is the dwelling in, listen up, I am forgiven for no reason. If you authentically dwelled in I am forgiven for no reason, how does that feel? The experience of aliveness is ignited right now. Experiencing living, that is aliveness, versus the experience of thinking about it. An artist experiences a feeling called creation. A true artist experiences creation not as her or his own, but as something that moves through him or her. Unrestricted energy moving through. That's what we're after. The singer trains the voice, but when he or she sings, it's an unrestricted energy that moves through he or she. They are and know that they are the vessel through which that can get expressed. Eckhart Tolle, quote, "It's not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living." So then I say, what then is creation really? At the level of being a human being over there, what is that? I contemplated this question for a while, and what I've come up with is that creation might really be simply letting go. Or perhaps creativity becomes possible when I practice letting go. As I get to a particular place in the practicing, there is a shift at the level of the heart. I can then rest in being simply a vessel, that which life gets experienced, expressed, and expanded through. That is the result of resting in quantum forgiveness. True creation, then, might be accepting and stepping into that enormous, remarkable space. Anything?
Yes.
Go ahead, Charlie.
The comment you made about consider creation could be letting go.
Yeah.
That is so liberating. I mean, that occurs as the truth for me.
Yeah.
That's the one that spoke to me too, Charlie.
One I wrote down.
It's like the guy who created the David that said he didn't create the David, he just took away anything that wasn't David.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it seemed that letting go would be that freedom.
Yes. Beautiful. That's
And
great.
things would peel away that aren't meant to be.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That is the course. That is the quantum shift. That is the ultimate experience or result that we would be after. But beautiful. Anything else before I move on? Thank you for that, by the way. It's great. Okay. Something's going on over there in your mind, Rasha. What is it? Not like there has to be, by the way. But I can see it on your face. You're like, oh, I don't know.
No. I was thinking of what you were saying and then of the meditation. So some pieces are just they're swirling around.
Yeah, let them swirl. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
On life unfolding. So first of all, consider that who we are, and Robert is in the process of working out this angle of the business, but we are going to have a new name, a new tagline, and a new presence. So the name of the company will soon be, at some point, The Quantum Evolution, and the tagline, the practice of living life, the practice of honoring life unfolding. Fuck you, Robert. You did that to me. You did that to me. Okay. See, now the flow is gone. The quantum evolution, the practice of honoring life unfolding. Yeah, okay. And it'll have three divisions. There's the heart shift, the quantum shift, and the stages of love. That's how we're organizing it as of now. So on life unfolding, because it is fundamental to who we say we are in this work. Eckhart Tolle again, okay? As soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out the present moment awareness, which we call aliveness, when you act out the present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love. Even the most simple action. I love that. I fucking love that. Quantum forgiveness is the language of love. And love isn't selective. Just like the sun, it shines on everyone. It doesn't make one person special. It's not exclusive. Exclusivity is not quantum love, but the love of the ego, what we call the counterfeit love. It's the small self desperately trying to control and predict. Anything?
Yes.
Go ahead.
That statement you made, quantum forgiveness is the language of love.
Yes.
When you substitute aliveness for love, that just explodes for me.
Nice. Got that. Cool.
Thomas, can you read the first part again?
Yes, I think so. You want me to start with the Eckhart Tolle quote?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out the present moment awareness, what we call aliveness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action. Quantum forgiveness is the language of love. And love isn't selective. Just like the sun, it shines on everyone. It doesn't make one person special. It's not exclusive. Exclusivity is not quantum love, but the love of the ego, the counterfeit love, the small self desperately trying to control and predict.
Good.
So the part about the small self trying to control and predict
Yeah.
just really hits a chord. The first time you said it, you said something about the comfort of control and predict, or at least that's what I heard. I didn't hear
Okay.
it the second time. And there really is like at least for me, I feel there's a security when I can control and predict. There's
Exactly.
even if I'm not liking what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's
There
like,
is some sense of comfort in at least being able to say what it's going to be.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, crazy, huh? But it's true. I think
Yeah,
it's true
so
for
I'm
all of us.
taking a look at like what would have to occur for me to be at comfort with not controlling and not predicting.
Well,
Mhm.
maybe a question that would be more serving you. What would I need to let go of right now that
Yeah.
controlling and predicting isn't the answer to? No, what could I let go of right now that control and predicting is the answer to?
Mm.
Gonna have to think on that one.
Say that again.
Yeah.
That's
What do I have to let go of now that makes predicting and controlling the answer?
Yeah.
Like that I have to be safe. I mean, I'll just speak for myself. That would be that I have to be safe would be something I could let go of because it's clearly an illusion anyway. Now, physical safety, of course, you got to take care of yourself, you know, but we're talking authentic safety versus this chewing and thinking all the time like something's going to happen that I have to, you know, beware of.
So could you say the question again? What do I have to let go of now?
What would you need to let go of now that predicting and controlling is the answer?
So I'm just present to, at the beginning of the month, I shared an experience with Thomas that I met. I'm thinking of joining this club that's here, and I met a man that was really great and friendly. And he and his wife, he offered for he and his wife to pick me up the next day, take me somewhere that I'd never heard of, and we'd be out till like midnight or 1. And I was telling Thomas like how different that is for me. In the old days, I'd get my own car and I'd follow them, and then I could leave when I want.
Yeah.
And he just thought that was so funny, that was even a concern for me, or a letting go, so to speak, or even I've been taking on new practices or new things in my life. And that was really, I can tie that into the prediction and controlling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go into the next little segment here. And some of you who came on a little later, what I said at the beginning is I'm really committed to having these calls go 1 hour so that your time is respected. I can stay on all night. This is not a problem for me, but out of respect for you. Now, it is 7:20 now. An hour would be 7:30. With your permission, I'd like to go to 7:45, but just know that for all future calls, do whatever you need to do to be on time. Okay, and Rasha, I realize you might be leaving the office at 6:30. I get that. We include that. But let's try to squeeze as much out of that hour as we can, and then we can go on, you know, with our regular lives. Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Are you okay for the 7:45? Larry, I'm mostly concerned about you.
I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, very good. Eckhart Tolle says, oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
I'm sitting in my car at my house. Not a problem.
Eckhart Tolle says time isn't precious at all because it is an illusion. What you perceive as precious is not time, but the one point that is out of time. Now, I'll say it again because to me, this is the epitome of quantum, the epitome of practicing honoring life unfolding. I mean, to me, this is it.
I didn't get that.
He says, time isn't precious at all because it's an illusion. When what you perceive as precious isn't time, but it is the point that is outside of time, which is now. That is precious indeed. The more you're focused on time, that's the timeline that I talk about, the more you're focused on the past and the future, the more you miss quantum or the now, the most precious thing there is. Wow. Forgiveness sets you free. You benefit immensely when you choose to be forgiving, and so does everyone around you. Whether you need to forgive others or you need to forgive yourself, doing so sets you free from the past and enables you to fulfill your true potential. Forgiveness allows you to break free from limiting beliefs and attitudes. It frees up your mental and emotional energies so that you can apply them to creating a better life. All of this, however, is ordinary forgiveness. Quantum forgiveness is already there, waiting for you to step in for no reason, not deserving it, and not being able to earn it. And human beings, we want to work for stuff. That's why we make our lives miserable. We're paying something back. We're so guilty. We're so ashamed that we will destroy our fucking lives to pay the price. You got to get it.
I know for me, it's as a Catholic, I was raised that I had to earn.
I know, but guess what? That little girl is not here anymore.
No, she's not.
Right?
Right. But it's a, you know, go ahead, go on.
Oh, no, I'm listening to you.
Oh, I know, but I don't want to say anything anymore right now.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
When we let go of guilt simply by letting go of the desire, no, excuse me, let me say that again. We let go of guilt simply by letting go of the desire to punish ourselves, by letting go of self-condemnation in any form of wanting to harm or hurt ourselves. We can help ourselves do this by making amends for what we did, apologizing, using the 4 steps to forgiveness, and so on. But what you want to break is the blame and shame loop. This is the shame loop, feeling a compulsion to do something which we feel we should not do, feeling ashamed of ourselves about having done it. Our attempts to hide from our sense of shame and the critical voices inside us arise as a compulsion to do something which we feel we should not do, and so on. Oh my gosh, I copied that. I wish I hadn't now because it's not my own, so I couldn't generate it.
I find that thick.
It was thick. But I'm going to tease it out a little bit because I think we can use it. So I'm sorry because it probably put a damper on a lot of the rest of it. But the best penance, if you need to suffer it all, if you have to pay penance for all you've done, the best penance is living life well. The best amending of the past is to live life well now. What is it to live life well? Free from the past. Right here, right now, in this precious moment, experiencing aliveness. Do that for penance. Make that your life sentence, right?
It's interesting. My employee today made a comment about, he was talking about our collective past lives, like, you know, way beyond what we think we were actually on the planet, and that we were all afraid of repeating what happened before when they were almost extinguished. It's interesting because it reminds me a little bit of this whole deserving and this whole conversation. There's something beyond us that has us feel that we're not deserving, and that we, or that we need to. I'm trying to take notes on this, but
No, I hear you. I hear you. Well,
correlation in what he was talking about and what you're talking about.
understood.
I don't know if it's really related, but
Oh, it's no, anything that comes up becomes useful, especially when I go back and listen, because there's things I tease out and pull that I didn't get before, But what I'd like for y'all to consider is we've done this work, I'm calling it the 12 by 12, for lack of a better word, and we distinguished unique characteristics and qualities that we say are an expression of our true essence. Now, this upcoming week, you're going to have a practice. But inside of the practice, I want you to start considering that there's really only one expression, and those three help us get in the world of it. And maybe it's the part that you noticed wasn't as readily expressed as you would think it should be, given who you are. Like for me, like a rude awakening I had this week is that in some areas I might be perceived as mean. I don't think I'm mean. But it occurred to me that unless I'm responsible for, am I in a coaching situation that somebody expects and needs rigor, or am I in a business conversation where people just need to be respected, or am I in a friendship conversation where we need to be playful and fun? Like, I don't know that I've always been good about making those distinctions, because pretty much 98% of my world was Landmark. So I was always that guy. Each one of you, because we've had relationships at a friendship level, of course, you've seen the more human aspect of me. You know me. But I really got that could be the case. And it occurred to me, is that true self getting expressed, or my true essence? I'd say no. Because I think I'm playful and fun. That's what I think. I'm serious about it, but I'm playful and fun. That's what I think. So I really got to, there's probably one thing. We used the three to get there because it caused the conversations that we've had. It's caused us to look where we've looked. But maybe there's one thing. Go ahead, Larry.
I was wondering if it's strategy, maybe fulfilling something that maybe you think is missing. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about the expression of the true essence, the true self.
Yeah, but your behavior mostly done Landmark, so therefore behavior kind of geared around that.
I don't know if I'm understanding, and you're blanking out. So try it again.
Okay, I don't know if I can. I
don't know what's going on with your sound.
I don't know either.
I'm on.
You just cut out.
Yeah, it's hard to make out every word. Darn it. I'm going to go back and listen to it, though, because I want to know what you said. Okay, so here's the assignment, everybody. This week, think of yourself as your true essence. So last week, we tried to do the opposite. This week, I want you to practice or think of yourself as your true essence. Look around and be a neutral witness to the basic love energy that shapes you and the world around you. See it. And by the way, I'm going to have this written out for you and I'll send it to you. See it and feel it everywhere. Be accepting, be forgiving, and be unconditional in your loving kindness. Breathe love through all your cells and let it pass through you, touching every part and lighting you up. And then send that love on its way, giving it generously. I've got it typed up. I'll send it to you in an email, and it will be posted on our site. And then last thing, live life well. No suffering.
Mm.
You are forgiven. And Joanne, you and I will talk after this call, okay?
Sure.
Okay, anybody have anything they want to say to close us out?
Some good shit.
It is.
I think that's the technical term.
Yeah.
You know, I did want to, really noticed a lot, like this week, like it really struck me one thing you said about the now, because I feel so overwhelmed with how much content I'm trying to generate,
Yes.
that what I forget is that I'm creating, and I like creating a lot.
Yes.
And that kind of goes out the fucking window, because,
It has to, doesn't it?
you know,
It
and
has to go out the window because you're on the timeline live.
yeah, and then, but see, I enjoy the doing, because I'm making shit up. There's nothing I like better than making shit
That's
up.
right.
But,
So-
but then I find out I'm just like, so the thing I got hit with, like, so when I stop and hear these phrases and I'm slowing down, then I kind of get it. But
Yeah.
I'm left with, how do I keep that space
Quit
in
it.
my day-to-day life?
Yeah,
when
but stop asking that question.
uh-huh.
Now, let me tell you why. I want you to let go of the question because the question is that there's not an answer. You understand? The question continues to come up because so far there's not been an answer, but the question's always been there.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I'm going to ask you to let go of that, and I want you to relate to it like a particular kind of energy, an energy that's blocking the possibility of you actually being able to have that experience ongoing, moment by millisecond by millisecond by millisecond.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
'Cause that's-
notice the threat that is to your small self.
Yeah.
To let that go, there's a threat.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Because I suffer for it all the time. I love that fucking suffering shit. Yeah.
Okay. So that's your personal practice.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
One thing I wanted to say, you were talking earlier, we were talking about quantum forgiveness.
Yeah.
And what how it's occurring to me is it's always available. It's always present.
Yeah.
I just got to tune into it. And when I do, I experience letting go.
Right. And see, and like Rasha said earlier, and maybe it's this way for you too, Charlie, you just have to look and see. I know it is for me. If I drop my practice of daily meditation, then the disconnect is very quick. And it even will leave me wondering why I'm disconnected.
You're right.
Do you understand? Like, it's such a slick little devil. It will let you wonder why you're disconnected, all the while knowing why you're disconnected.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to add one more thing to that. What I want to add to that is the practice, of course, is meditation, and it's effective, and it gives us the opportunity to realign ourselves. That's what it does. But also, you guys, it's integrity. Because I don't care how much fucking meditation you do, if your integrity is out all over the place, you will not get aligned. So we got to manage both worlds. And integrity should not be a scary world to deal with because we have been specifically trained in how to manage integrity. However, we all have to be honest, we're weak at it and we need to get strong. We're weak at it because we'd rather suffer than get complete. In other words, we will let things grow between us. You understand? We let distance happen in between us and the people that we need to be close to. and I use the word need on purpose. There are billions of people on this planet. We don't got to get complete with every single one of them individually, but there are those, like the 6 of us, should never, ever, 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 ever have anything between us. Because if we do, then it's disruptive to the integrity of the group, and the value and benefits they have more decay. Do you understand? They don't have as much potency.
Yes.
And then you can take that to your family. You can take that to your workspace. Very important to start with is their distance, and do whatever you need to do to relieve the distance. That's where you start with integrity. If you do that, everything else will pop up that you might need to get complete. But if you just start in that one place, is there any distance between you and I? Listen, if you can't answer the question, then there's probably not. But if I'm looking at you and you're looking at me and you feel off, there's something there.
Thank you.
Now I have 6 phone calls tonight. I know.
So I'm thinking about this point that Robert brought up, and that is, so in the banking world, when they train somebody, they actually have them deal with money so much such that it's nothing, so that there's no temptation to steal it, or they won't say things like, oh my gosh, there's $10,000 I'm holding, or something like that. So I'm looking to see where I've become numb to being present to, like the miraculous of the stuff we do. And we do it all the time. And Thomas, you and I have been doing this stuff a long time. And maybe I've gotten numb to it. Like not appreciating how lucky I am to have it in my life.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a question.
I don't either. Yeah, I would let go of all of that. I mean, it's interesting to hear and to talk about, but I'd let it go as quick as you can, because that could turn into something that just wouldn't be serving.
Okay.
Well, what
So-
I since you hear me,
Yes.
since I got involved with this group, my integrity has just been like stacking up cleaner and more. I'm on time more. I do what I say. I'm present of and letting them know. I know a lot more of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so everybody's clear about what you're going to do, and I'm going to send you an email tonight.
Yeah, good.
All right. I
Yes.
love you. Thank you very, very much for everything you provide.
And Thomas,
Yes,
I think I want to review this recording.
of course.
So will that go out in the next couple days?
I'll get it done tonight.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey,
Joanne, I'll
Thomas,
call you in a second.
Bye, everybody.
hey, Thomas,
Yes, sir.
just on the work of the design team, I have a digital copy of the movie, so I can cut that.
Oh, right
So that
on.
yeah,
Right
that-
on.
yeah, it's nice.
All right. Thanks. Talk to you tomorrow, Robert.
All right.